Hello there, welcome back. It's the beginning of a brand new week. It's Monday. It's not quite a week since I've seen you, so this is our new 5x5 format for the time being now. Nothing has changed. I don't know why I'm looking around the office when I say that, because nothing in here has actually altered one iota. But, for the time being, we're going to get one update a week, and we'll see where we go from there. This first week, not a great deal. Have I found somewhere new to live? No, not yet. I've just been looking at a place. There's one that's a possibility we'll take a look at. But has anything major happened with the channel or the voiceover business? Not really. Nothing major really. I got an author contact me last week or the week before, who wanted me to narrate and produce her book, audiobook for Audible through Amazon, which I've done before. But it just kind of did make me laugh. Usually when an author contacts you, about half the time it's someone who really doesn't understand that this is my full-time job, So it's not that unusual. My brother is quite fond of saying, that his particular line of work, he's a designer, and you get these people who say, and my sister too, who is a poet professionally. That's what she does. She's a poet. That's how she makes her living. And poet, that's not a great living. But so people come to her and say, will you do this event for us and write this poem? It'll be great exposure for it. And my sister, believe me, is not in need of the exposure. What she's in need of is a paycheck. As with most creative fields, and my brother's a designer, he runs his own company, and people will sort of ask him to tender ideas, when they submit ideas to a company, because they're like auditioning different designers, and he quite frequently gets upset about that, how it doesn't happen. You wouldn't audition different plumbers and have them fit a washing machine. 3 different plumbers fit a washing machine and pick the best one. Quite right, you don't, but it happens across all creative fields. It's not specific to design or poetry. It just, it happens across all creative fields, particularly those that people can't quite believe someone does for a living, and mine is one of those. Voiceover artist, people can't quite believe how you can make enough money from that to make a living, and it certainly is difficult for most of us. But there are people that make a very good living on it. YouTube is another one. I have another YouTube channel, as you must know by now, and although it's not a wildly successful channel, it is now paying me an income. I mean, it's supplementary. It's certainly not something I could live on. It's not a lot of money, but I am getting paid for doing YouTube videos now. And it's one of those things people can't really grasp, how you can get paid for these things. It's confusing to them. Because those are the kind of jobs they expect you're just going to do things for free, because you can't possibly expect people to pay you for that. Well, if you want my service, I expect you to pay me for it. I was contacted by an author. So this author wanted me to produce her book, and it was nearly 90,000 words. It would have required about 6 weeks. I worked out it would have required about full-time 6 weeks of my time to record and produce this book, to edit it and master it, and get the audio out and broken down into chapters and submitted to Audible. I've done books for Audible before. So nearly 90,000 words. She wanted, I think she said Syrian, German, and Italian dialects, and also some French language actually spoken in the book. And one of the things that tickled me a little bit is that she said, must have knowledge of medieval Catholic terminology. Now, that's all very well and good. These are things that you could reasonably expect if you're going to pay someone a lot of money up front for doing that job. But what she wanted was to give me a royalty share only. That's my little girl running in and screaming. So she wanted to give me a royalty share only, and that is actually quite common on Audible. Through when you do a book for Audible through ACX, it's quite common to do a book for royalty share. But anyone that has the slightest inkling of common sense would check that out. They would check the book out and research it thoroughly and see how well it's sold. And this lady, from what I could see, had sold maybe 2 of these copies of this book since she'd finished writing it. And, one review there was, and that can just be from a buddy. You can't trust reviews when there's only that many. So, 6 weeks of work for basically free Sorry.